We're live. Hello, I'm Verdi Arbusto, and this is the Schumann Resonance Harmonics channel on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you for being here. I appreciate the love, the comments, and the support. If you're new here, please subscribe. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I will answer all questions in the comments. I don't really respond to all comments. Some I do, depends on the person. But all questions I will answer to the best of my ability. All right. Okay, it's like Saturday, the 26th of June. And this is going to be just a quick video because I really need to put something out. I haven't done anything in about a week. The 19th, I think. It's been about actually a week. And I really have to put something out. If for no reason other than people need to see me, you need to see me, you like to see me, and I talk about the Schumann resonances in a way that no one else does, and because it's so popular to, discuss the Schumann and what it's doing, um, got to put out a video just to give to chime in on my end of this. All right. All right. So, what's on there is this is my website, and this is today's post. I try to do videos from everything that's posted on the website, or go to the website first so you can see it. Everything's there. It's free. It's shareable. All right. So, let me. What am I doing? Okay. This is today's report. From Tomsk. Uh, and I wrote out what I wanted to say in my in the text in the description. This, when I do these live things, they wind up being a little bit different than uh, what I write about, because I'm doing the interpretation on the spot. I know what I've already written, and I do that for the people that at large who read it. But I want to do the video, so it's a little bit inclusive of what I wrote and also some different stuff. This is just kind of how I do things. I don't do cookie cutter operations. And so one of the things we're looking at here is the time. Okay. Um, I have made it a point. It's important to know that the Schumann resonances operate in the cavity between the ionosphere and the Earth ground. Okay, when the ionosphere is operating properly during the daytime hours, you will get very strong Schumann resonances because it's bouncing off of the ionosphere properly. I use the analogy of a drum head, and as you tighten up the drum head, the sound tightens up as well. You get a crisper, sharper sound on the drum, and it's not as muddied as you would. It increases the tone of it in addition to the frequency response that you can get from it, being the drum head. All right. So we look at the diurnal variation at Russia on a 24-hour cycle, but it's not necessarily evenly matched across the 24 hours. As I put in the description, Tomsk daylight basically ends at it ends at 11 p.m. So the Tomsk daytime operates from like 5 in the morning, you start seeing signs, all the way till 11 at night. All right, so this is the normal cycle. In the middle of the night, which would be here from this part here, essentially, from say midnight to 5 or 6 in the morning, this is usually a low spot. And you can see it over here. If you compare over here, like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, you start getting something where this ideally right here should be a low spot. There's actually something coming in. And that's from frequency, which is banging up near the top. And that is not, you see, there's not much going here for quality, a little bit. Certainly the green. We'll look at the green. What is the green doing? This is green all the way up here. All right. So this is not, a, I've mentioned this before. Hold on, let me I've mentioned this before, that we're looking at the times that this is happening. And this is kind of, I guess, this is one of the points of doing this right here, this particular one here, that the diurnal variations take place over the course of 24 hours, and then over the course of a year, and then over the course of 11 years, depending on the sun's cycle. However, in the normal course of the day, when we look at it at the day, the ionosphere is most active during the middle of the day. At 11, right around here, 2300 hours, it starts leveling off, but it isn't, and it didn't do that in this particular case. But we're not getting an amplitude spike. Okay, we're not getting amplitudes. The quality is fairly calm until you get down to here. It's We're looking at the range from 5 to, this is like 8.6, and this one here is 5 to 9.5. So we're looking at the activity of the range between its low to the high point to determine how active the mode is. And we're looking at the not just the peaks, but the activity going from peak to peak to peak to peak over the course of time. All right, so this is quality speaking here and not amplitude. All right, so quality and the frequency go together because it's a wave. Quality is a wave, frequency is the measurement of that wave. All right, so when we're looking at the chart, we're looking at the amplitude. Everyone wants to look at the amplitude first because it's the most sexy part of it. The spikes that you can pin, the majority of people that are looking at the Schumann want to know what spike that they can link up with some physical malady. So the majority of people that are coming here are looking for that. If there's no spikes, they say nothing happening on the Schumann, and that's fine. If that's where you're at, that's fine. Go away. However, for those of us who are observers and we look at this stuff and we look at it on a regular basis and we're seeing what's actually going on there, not from the determination of these of the graphic spikes, but we're looking at it in terms of the magnetics and the quality. We look here. This is what we're looking at. All right. So this is the activity of the quality, which is the horizontal. Okay, if as we know, the quality is the horizontal. Um, Look at the time of the spikes. So this right here, when this should be asleep, we have some mid-grade electrics. There's a little bit of activity here, not much. A little bit of activity with electrics, but you see as we go down, this is what's interesting about this particular reading, is that as we go down in the amplitude, going into from white to yellow to red to green, when we talk about going down in amplitude relative to the modes, white, yellow, red, green. So the white was not very effusive, but you can see, right, all right, so the white is not very effusive here, but then there's a little bump of the yellow, a bigger bump of red, and an even bigger bump of the green. This is at 3, 4 in the morning, 2, 3, 4 in the morning, when it should otherwise be quiet. So when we are looking at, just as a general, when I am looking at what's happening on the chart, I'm looking at the time of day it's happening by the local time. All right. So the white letter up here, the white numbers, sorry, up here, this is local time, Tomsk local time. And underneath it, in the little bigger yellow numbers, this is UTC. Okay. So I'm not just looking at the amplitude for the amount of it. I'm not looking just for the loudness of the signal, but I'm also looking for the time of day that it occurred. It makes a difference because if you have these spikes in the middle of the day, okay, so this is 10 local time, 10, 11, 12. This is 2 in the afternoon, 1400 hours, 14 o'clock is 2 in the afternoon. So we can expect to see a burst of the sun coming in the middle of the day. That's not a big thing. However, the middle of the night, right, that's when these are happening here, okay, and there shouldn't be any, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not that there shouldn't be, it's that we wouldn't normally expect spikes of amplitude coming in the nighttime after the sun has gone to sleep. It's not a it's not as big of a deal to see the spikes in the middle of the day at 2 in the afternoon. Okay, this is 2 in the afternoon. Okay, it's much more different and it's more significant when we see these kind of spikes in the middle of the night or here at midnight. It started at, this is 20 hours is 8 o'clock. So 8, 9, we get a spike there, 10, 11. So from like 11:30-ish, give or take, 11:15 to midnight to 1 to 2, it's over. This is normally when the ionosphere is starting to go to sleep. It's starting to loosen up. So we wouldn't expect to see that yet. This right here, whenever I think of the ionosphere, whenever I think of the sun's effect on the ionosphere, I always think of it as tightening up the drum head. Okay, a lot of people believe that everything that comes from the sun we get bombarded with. So any little tiny blur to blur to blur from the sun we get directly hit by, and that is not correct. That's not true. That's not how this works. Okay, the intermagnetic planetary field, IMF, as they call it, that is in the nano Tesla range. Okay, that's the direct influence is the nano Tesla range. All right, whatever the measurement in nanoteslas is, there could be thousands of nanoteslas, which would be the next group up, but it's measured from the standard of nanoteslas. This chart, the Schumann resonance chart, is pico. It's 1,000 times weaker than the solar radiance. So people get this confused all the time. This is not measuring solar radiance. This is measuring the pico range of lightning and the echoes of lightning. You've got to remember that. It's really important. People get this all twisted, all kinds of messed up, all kind of confused because they don't understand that the ionosphere acts as a membrane between the sun and us. And when the sun is at its blaringest, that's when the ionosphere is the strongest, is the tightest. And then what happens is if there's a particularly strong push, like a X-class flare, the ionosphere compresses down lower. It doesn't break the ionosphere. It doesn't overpower the ionosphere. It's still there. The ionosphere is a membrane. It's a layer between us and the sun, and it is always active. It is always working. There's many layers to this, and that's what's important to understand. The difference between the more lightning, there's an interchange. The drumhead analogy is a really good analogy. It keeps in the Schumann resonances, and that drumhead keeps out the IMF. Okay, generally speaking, this is how it works. It acts as a barrier, it acts as a membrane, it acts as an in-between between the sun's direct influence and what we see as or within the lower waveguide for the Schumann resonances. The ionosphere, when it's usually working correctly, it acts as a, like I said, as a membrane between us and it. And so when this membrane tightens up, that's when the Schumann resonances are going to be the most prevalent and the most active because there is a strong waveguide. I give that analogy of the waveguide as a corridor between the ionosphere and the earth ground. So it's important to understand that during the middle of the day, we're regularly getting hit by solar radiance, but the membrane of the ionosphere acts to keep everything, the IMF outside of the waveguide, and the ionosphere membrane keeps the Schumann resonances strong. Schumann resonances and the intermagnetic planetary field are two different circuits. You got to remember that. That's part of what's important, of why I need to do this, why I need to explain it to people, is that a lot of what folks believe we're getting crammed by the sun is not the sun. It's earthbound lightning that is traveling around the world in a contained waveguide provided by the strength of the ionosphere as given by the sun's radiance. Okay. Hopefully that's coming to you without confusion. Uh, Thank you for bearing with me when I try and explain this technical stuff that is difficult to come up with words in. All right, so this rather stumbling episode of the observations of the Schumann resonances. I appreciate you being here. This was just a short video. I needed to get something out. I want to get something out. A lot of people wondering where I am. I hibernate. I like hibernating. Keeps me out of trouble, keeps me sane. Thank you all for being here. This is just a quick video. It's more than anything. I wanted to say hi. This just gave me an excuse to say hello, everyone. Bradley, Jackie, Julie, Jacqueline, Arizona Raven. Those of you who are here every day, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And have a great day, everyone. Thank you. And for those from Wages World who came here, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. This was a quick video. I got to go to work this afternoon, but later today, hopefully, if I'm in a mood for it, I'll be making another video. Like I said, I just want to say hi. Thanks, everyone. I appreciate the love and support. So, on that cheery note, thank you all very much, and I will be, I'll be around. I don't know if I'm going to be doing a video later today or tomorrow, but I got to do a longer video. Anyway, so this was just short. Thank you. Thank you once again. I appreciate everyone for being here. Namaste. Okay, where are we? All right.